It's been a long while since I last made a video on this channel. I know maybe for some of you it doesn't seem like a while, but 9 to 10 days probably feels like 9 to 10 years, and that was like the last upload on my channel. So it does seem like it's been a little bit of time since I last made a video. There just hasn't been much time based on family circumstances and as well as just work. But now I've been able to find time to talk about a certain topic, and I'm going to be talking about another movie I just watched today. And that movie I just watched is Mickey 17. Now, Mickey 17 is a movie I actually went into with pretty high expectations, hoping it was going to be a very good film. Mostly because the director of the movie is Bong Joon-ho, and he directed Parasite. And if you haven't watched Parasite, I can tell you it's an amazing movie. It took me a while to really kind of grasp the concept and the message, but the more times I watched it, it really got better and it really stuck into me as a movie. So, really going into Mickey 17, I wasn't hoping that this movie was going to be better than Parasite, but I was hoping that this was at least going to be a very good movie that I would enjoy. And I could definitely say that that is certainly true. Now, like Parasite, which I actually thought had such an interesting concept, the same can be definitely be said about Mickey 17. I really love the concept of this film. So there are some aspects of the concept I'll talk about. So there's one side of it where you have a character called Mickey Barnes. Essentially, Mickey Barnes is essentially a character where whenever he dies, essentially there will be a human print or a clone of himself. And essentially, whenever he dies as well, his memory transfers, his data transfers into the next one as well. So you have that idea of the film. And the other idea of this movie as well is also humans are leaving Earth to colonize a planet called Nilfheim. And essentially, you have some politicians in power that also want to control the planet. So there are like multiple aspects of this movie, and I could also say as well, the acting performances, especially from Robert Pattinson, is impressive. Like he really is so self-aware of his character playing Mickey, and even watching multiple clones or human print of himself as well interacting with each other, I actually really enjoyed it. It never got boring. I really loved the humor side of it as well, and it was just really entertaining to watch, even throughout the whole movie. That even just panned it out. But also not just Robert Pattinson. I also really enjoyed watching Mark Ruffalo and Toni Collette in this movie as well for the roles that they were given. So Mark Ruffalo also plays as a egotistical politician called Kenneth Marshall. I had to take my time to think about the names real quick. And Toni Collette also plays as his wife. And essentially, Kenneth Marshall is like a egotistical politician who wants to really colonize Nilfheim, which is being inhabited by creepers. And essentially, he thinks the creepers are very dangerous creatures that are a threat to humans. But there's also times where Mickey interacts with the creepers who don't threaten him. And you also have like one side where Mickey wants to protect the planet and its inhabited creatures, and then you also have Kenneth Marshall trying to put as much power and control as he can to control Nilfheim. There's also like that element of this movie that comes together very well, and I think a lot of it really works, and they really do create a lot of scenes of dark comedy as well, where every character is self-aware of themselves and they really bring a lot of humor that comes to light. It really just makes a lot of the themes of this movie very entertaining. But a lot of the actors do well in this movie. So I just also want to say that I think the script and the writing of this movie is very, very, very good, and all the actors really shine in this film. And I think the director deserves a lot of credit for that. Now, I think even despite all those things, and the idea as well of watching Robert Pattinson play Mickey 17 and interact with his multiple human prints of himself. I do think that does bring to where I think it does kind of impact the story a little bit, because sometimes I feel like the story doesn't really focus on the themes as close as it could have. I do think the story is weaker to Parasite, but I do think the story works in this movie, but I do think it distracts itself a little bit. And I think some of the pacing and structure inconsistencies also it doesn't help as well as it could have. So I think sometimes the movie does kind of lose its story a little bit, but I can forgive it because obviously when you watch a dark comedy movie, it doesn't always have to take itself too literally. That's kind of like the idea behind it. And I think really with the concept as well, the ideas it brought together and the actors portraying their characters being self-aware of who they were, I think just it made the movie just work in a sense. And it just, nothing really made me really sort of bored or made me think, too literally about what the film was going to happen or what was going to happen next. But yeah, there's a lot I could really talk about this movie. And yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I really enjoyed the humor, the dark comedy, the acting, the writing, and especially the concept. I think the concept is such a really good concept. Is it as good as Parasite? No, but I think if you really do like Parasite, I do think you would appreciate this movie. And especially if you love Bong Joon-ho's work, I think you would like this movie too. Now, I have seen there has been like some debate, and I will arguably say this isn't a movie for everyone. But all I can say, if you do like dark comedies, I think you will like this movie. But I think it always will depend on the audience, I guess. But all I can say, for this film, I do really enjoy it, and I think that's all I gotta say. But yeah, let me know what you think of Mickey 17. It'll be very interesting to hear your thoughts. If you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe, dislike if you want to dislike. Thank you for watching, and yeah, that's about it. See you later.